Yo, what's up you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a real quick one. Wasn't able to get out there on the water today. Had a real bad storm last night, but we're going to be going over my kayak and some of the gear that I like to take out there with me on any given fishing trip. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Right now I am fishing out of the 2021 Hobie Outback, which is an absolute beast of a kayak. Hobie has been around forever. The Outback has been around forever, and these guys have been producing, you know, very fine-tuned fishing kayaks for years now. And this is one of the latest models. I believe it's the latest. I'm not sure if they came out with a 2022 yet, but 2021 top of the line stuff right here. And this kayak is an absolute beast. So let's go ahead and go into a little bit more detail on this kayak and talk about what sets this apart from, you know, other fishing kayaks in the industry. Now, I could sit here all day and talk about each and every little thing on this kayak that Hobie has gone and, you know, fine-tuned to make fishing out of this thing a beast and make it worth the $3,500 retail price, which is pretty pricey for, you know, at the end of the day, it's a piece of plastic. But there's a lot of stuff on here that, you know, you don't really think about until you're out there on the water, or until you're missing it because you fished out of this before. So three main selling points on this kayak, which really make it a super nice kayak to fish out of for me, are going to be these bad boys right here. So this is the Mirage Fins. And right now for fishing kayaks, I feel like this is kind of the industry standard. You have to have some sort of like pedal drive system, whether it be Old Town's little topwater system where you kick it like a bike and it spins a little propeller like that, or you've got the fin system, and Hobie did it first. Advantages of this fin system are that when you have the pedals pushed apart like that, you can actually have your fins riding like pretty much parallel to the bottom of the kayak. That's kind of cool. I mean, it's definitely unique to Hobie's Mirage Drive fin system. But I find honestly that when I'm super shallow and push pulling through the mud, having that down there is just something, it's kind of like a sail that just catches mud for you. So I don't know, not a big fan of it. I would honestly rather just pull the crap out and push pull without the snag under there, but to each their own. Second, we have our rudder controls here, and I say controls S with the plural because the cool thing about the Hobie is not only do you have one right here on your right side, but back here, if we take a peek, there's one on your left side as well, which definitely is something that I missed while fishing out of other kayaks. Having the ability to pick and choose whether you adjust with the left or the right hand is absolutely huge. A lot of times when fishing, you know, whether the fish is on your left or right hand side, your rod can be in either hand. If you need to make an adjustment, you don't have to fumble around and pass your rod in between hands to get to your rudder. You could just pick a side and go. So that's huge. It's something that a lot of other companies overlook when designing their kayaks. And I've always loved Hobie, and each and every time that I'm fishing out of a different kayak that doesn't have that, I think of how Hobie got it right. So big plus on Hobie. And lastly, we have Hobie Outback seat, which is probably the best kayak fishing seat that I've ever fished out of. I remember way back when the Pro Angler first came out, that was one thing that I always loved. I loved the Pro Angler seat. And compared to the old Hobie Outback seat, which was kind of sitting down on the deck itself, sometimes your butt would get wet. This seat right here, you're up off of the platform, off of the deck. You're not gonna get your butt wet. It is super comfortable. It's got tons of support. I'm a pretty big guy, 250 pounds. And honestly, I have no complaints when it comes to the seat spinning 5-6 hours out on the water. It's hot, you know, you wanna be comfortable, trust me, you wanna be comfortable, and this seat is awesome. Moving on to the gear that I bring out there with me on the kayak, I don't usually bring a ton of stuff. Like the most you'll ever see me with is all of the gear we're gonna talk about, and then this bad boy right here, we've got the live bait cooler. So if I'm using live bait, you'll see me out there with that, which fits snugly right here in between my seat and the H crate. This right here goes with me on every single trip. The Hobie H crate, it's a pretty awesome little thing. And I'll have links to all of this stuff in the description down below if you're interested in getting it for yourself. Most of this stuff you can get on Amazon, so I'll have links for that. But the H crate is pretty cool. It's made by Hobie, but you can fit it on a lot of different kayaks. You can see down here on the autopilot, my Pops has got an H crate. And I really like this thing. It keeps your rods and reels nice and high and dry out of the way of the water right here. If you use these built-in little rod holders, a lot of times you'll get hole slap against the water and it'll get your stuff wet. With this though, you can keep up to 4 rods like nice and up out of the way of the water. And then you can throw whatever you want in the crate. I throw my cameras and stuff in there, but you can keep tackle trays and water bottles and stuff like that. Next thing I always bring out with me is going to be my net right here. This net in particular is a Ego. I'm not sure exactly how much it costs. I know it's on Amazon, so I'll put the links in there, but we've had this net for a while. My pops got it way back when. You know, I think these guys had something to do with Lose, like their partner companies or something, but it's a solid net. It floats and it gets the job done for me, but definitely want to bring a net out there. I can't tell you how many times just being lazy trying to boat flip a fish in, I've lost them. So it's always nice to have a net, especially when you got a big old giant fish on the line. Next, I've got this Kayak Gear push pole. This is something that I didn't used to have. I used to just try and push pull around with the paddle, which gets stuck. It's got like a big old surface area, so when you stick that in the nasty marsh mud, it gets all stuck up. Versus this, it's a nice little point there. You stab it in the mud and you can get some leverage and push pull around. This thing is solid. I really like this. It's also on Amazon. It's like 40 bucks, 50 bucks. So this is a solid one that if you're going to be push pulling around the marsh, definitely having this versus the paddle is a game changer. And yeah, fellas, that is pretty much going to do it for my kayak and all my gear. So as you can see, not a ton of stuff, man. I try and keep it light. I feel like especially when you're going out push pulling in the marsh and those mud flats, you really don't want to have a ton of weight on you just because it's extra crap to lug around. Plus when you're going out, I go usually 3 or 4 times a week getting to and from the truck, just unloading and reloading all of that gear. It can be annoying, so just bringing tons of extra crap that really isn't necessary is not something I like to do. But yeah, this was a comment that I got on another one of my videos, and if you guys want to see more stuff like this, you know, it's hard for me sometimes. I think of this video and I'm like, you know, my gear's not that interesting. I don't bring a ton of stuff like you see, but someone wanted to see it, so I figured I'd make this video. And yeah, comment down below if you want to see more stuff like this, especially right now with fishing being as tough as it is for me. You know, these trips haven't been super productive, but doing videos like this is a nice change of pace. So yeah, with this bad weather, I'm glad you made that comment, my man, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I hope you guys also have a great rest of y'all's day. Peace.